How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the first video of an eventful Team of the Season day. We will be getting Serie A later today. A few of you guys asked me to make a video kind of going over the buy times and sell times. So on the screen, I'm going to post with like a text chat just explaining the different buy times, and I'll talk through it in this video. Basically, there are going to be various buy and sell times throughout the weekend. I believe there's like 4 that we can really do. And it's really simple and effective, and you don't even need to play the game to, do this. You can literally just buy a few on your phone at these times, and then look to sell them on a few hours later. So we're going to go over all that. If you guys do enjoy this video, please drop a like, and make sure you guys subscribe for more FIFA 20 content. Let's get right into it. So our first buy window is going to be literally right when Team of the Season comes out. Like I'm saying, the first 5 minutes. You need to look at all the cards, and you need to see like what kind of fodder cards there are, what kind of meta cards there are, and you have to compare them quickly to alternatives. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at like different cards to pick up. So for example, Toni Kroos, we'll use him as an example here. I guess when he came out, he was about 300k, let's say. So looking at other alternatives, you had to look at the Scream Kroos price. You had to look at other center mids that are kind of usable in La Liga and have good German links or whatever. So I quickly took a look at him. I saw he had the 5-star weak foot too. So I had to compare quickly in my head, like, what are the links? Like we just said, we went through them all. What's his price? His price was like maybe 250 or, whatever it was. We saw, you have to notice if their price looks low compared to their alternatives. So you quickly pick up. A good example of this would probably be some fodder, actually. We talked about the Ruben Diaz's the other day. And basically what we saw was a 91 rated center back who was like 45k. So we picked him up at 45k because if we compared him to any other center backs, the only other 91 rated center back, in the game is Koulibaly. And Koulibaly was 70k. So, we saw the comparison there. So, you could pick up some Diaz's and just wait for them to rise. And the same thing will happen here today. Let's say Insigne, for example, he has a card that's coming out, a left winger card. Let's say Insigne's Team of the Season is not as expensive as, let's say, the left winger Mertens. We see that that price is really close or something. Like, Mertens right now is 140k on Xbox. Let's say Insigne's 150k. That's way too low because that's a +3 upgrade compared to Mertens' card. So you can look to pick that one up and then sell. So that first buy window is always one that you have to use your judgment on. It's a little bit tougher to do. But if you do, pull it off, it is a very good technique. And then you can obviously look to sell whenever they rise back up. Our next buy window, and is probably one of my more favorite ones, is going to be the kind of the midway point. So at about 7:30 p.m. UK time, which is 2:30 Eastern time, we just finished up 100k lightning rounds. So there's a decent supply in the market, and a lot of people open the first 2 packs, We still have 125k packs to come, so it's up to you when you want to buy. But in the past, we've seen that this seems to be one of the better times to buy because a lot of people are listing up what they've gotten. Everyone has opened their saved packs by then. So we look to pick out like players up around that time. There are some examples that I have done in the past. For example, Kostic from last week, we picked him up at 2:30 my time, and we picked him up for probably 185k or something like that, whatever it was, and then we wait about 3 to 4 hours. So at about 10 p.m. UK, 5 p.m. Eastern time, that's when I like to sell those 2:30 investments. Just because there's a big demand for people trying to buy players to use in Weekend League. There's no more supply coming in until tomorrow. So what we do is we look to sell then, and that is our second buy and sell window. And now we get to my favorite time, and that is the 4 a.m. flips. It is the most effective flip time that I have seen so far. I did it with Kostic last week again too. If you looked at my Twitter, I actually talked about it last week too. So what happens is at about 4 a.m. UK time, which is a little bit not ideal for you guys in the UK and Europe and all that, but for people in like America, this is a great trading method. It is literally the easiest thing you can do all year. So what we do is we buy at about 4 a.m. UK. And what happens is there's no demand. There's no demand at all because everybody's asleep. What happens is these cards start to get very, very low. And what happens on Saturday when people wake up is there's the demand again. There's people wanting the cards, but we haven't had that supply yet. So if you buy at 4 a.m. UK, you can literally just hold those cards until the next day before lightning rounds comes again, and you could sell at about afternoonish UK, morning in the US. So what I do honestly, I buy at about 10 p.m. Eastern time. Reason why I like to buy a little bit early is a lot of people know this method. So what happens is we actually see prices start to rise up at 11 p.m. my time, which is 4 a.m. UK, because everyone starts buying for these flips. So I buy like an hour early. So what happens then is I just go to bed. I literally buy and I go to sleep. And when I wake up, they are up in price. I do like to list overnight though. I list for like 6 hours just because sometimes the demand comes a little bit earlier and maybe I won't be able to wake up because I do sleep kind of long and I don't want to miss that buy time. So I'll list overnight. And if they don't sell, obviously I'll just list in the morning because they probably will be up. There'll be that demand when you wake up. So it's a really easy and effective trading method. I mean, it is not hard to do these flips, and that is our third buy time. Our next buy and sell window is actually going to be before the Saturday lightning round. So what happens on Saturday is we start to see a lot of panic selling about an hour or two before lightning rounds comes out. It's been a trend that's kind of happened throughout the team of the season promo. So what we're going to do is we're going to buy at about 5 p.m. UK, 12 p.m. in American time. So what we do is we buy then. It really doesn't matter the card. I can't tell you specific cards because I really just don't know. You do have to compare these prices on your own. But we buy at that time, and then we look to sell literally during lightning rounds. Like they go up during lightning rounds. It's a really effective and easy method. There's just a lot of panic selling before because people are afraid, they're going to lose coins. And that is our fourth buy and sell window. And finally, the fifth one is another 4 a.m. window, and that's going to be on Saturday. It is not going to be as profitable as the Friday one, but if you buy the right cards, you can look at some pretty decent profit. And that's the fifth window. But with this all, you guys have to keep in mind you need to look at prices. You need to compare to alternatives. I can't directly tell you what cards are going to be good because I don't know. I haven't seen these cards yet. I don't see the prices. I can try and shout them out on Twitter. So if you guys follow me on Twitter, at FootSpice, you'll be able to, you can DM me or I'll be talking about them later, about what cards I'm liking for flips and all that. So, yeah. And before we wrap up this video, I do want to talk quickly about extinct cards because obviously last weekend we had the extinct Alphonso Davies. For extinct cards, if you are going to buy while they're extinct, try and snipe them, you need to make sure you are going to be on the game because you will lose a lot of coins. So what happens with Alphonso Davies, obviously, is he was extinct at like 550, I think it was. But what happens was when his price range got updated, he actually, there's so much supply with, on that. And because he was extinct, obviously, a lot of people wanted him. So what happens is, you buy, and then when the price range gets updated, you have to sell literally within the first 30 seconds. So what I like to do, I'll use Foot Birthday Bale, or who else was extinct during Team of the Season, just any extinct player, Adama Traore, for example. What happened with him was his price range got updated. He went up to he was extinct at whatever it was. What happened was his price range got updated to, I think it was 1.1 mil. So what you had to do was you saw a lot of people listing at max. You have to list like a big undercut. Like I'm saying like 100 to 200k undercut from that max price range because the prices just crashed down. We saw with Traore, he actually went down to 400k, and that was just because, so much supply is getting listed at one time. Now, what you can't do with these extinct cards, and we saw it with Alphonso Davies, is when, he started getting just dumped onto the market, we saw his price drop down to like 300 something K. When you see that or he starts to kind of bottom out, especially on an extinct card, there's a reason he was extinct is because, a lot of people were going to use, and, he's a good in-demand card. So you could pick him up for low. So Alphonso Davies, you could have picked him up for I think it was 320. You picked him up for 320. and he actually rose up back to 400k. And that will happen with any extend card. We saw it with Chare too. He dropped down like 300k maybe, and he rose back up a little bit. But you guys, obviously, you get the point. So that'll wrap up this video. If you guys did enjoy, please drop a like on it, and make sure you guys are subscribed. We have daily FIFA 20 Team of the Season content coming out. Thank you guys so much for the support recently. I really do appreciate it. And good luck making coins. We'll have a few more videos coming out later today and this weekend about Serie A Team of the Season, and we'll start preparing for the next Team of the Season as well. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.